All right. Good evening, everybody. Looks like we're live. Hopefully, sound's working. I hope should be. Let's make sure. Let's do some housekeeping here. Make sure everything's working. Give some time for people to join in. Okay, testing 1, 2. Checking. Are we feed? The live feed looks good. All right, sounds good, guys. Looks like everything's good to go on all that goes. All right, so welcome back to another Monday Live. It's been a while since I've been on, and just been getting quite a bit done here in the studio this last couple of weeks. Got a couple of videos filmed. Got a couple more I need to film. Got two unboxings I need to film right now. So got that going on. Also need to finish a couple edits, and then should have some videos out here. Hopefully the next day or two. I hope to have a release where you talk about some PlayStation stuff in the next video. So looking forward to getting that one done and out to you guys. In this video, basically wanted to just see, what we're going to be talking about the FX2 in this video quite heavily. So I want to focus in. I want to learn about the camera. I haven't had a chance to sit down and really dive into it. I believe it's an A7 IV essentially, but we're gonna get into that. So we'll get into that here shortly. But I do want to get into some of the new alpha rumors. I haven't been in there in a while either. So let's go take a look at what we've got in Sony alpha rumors right now. Ooh, that's bad news for me. Let me get this shared to you guys. Great. Now, share. Close. All right, we're there. We go. This looks upsetting. Sony USA price increase now official on Adorama. $4,200 for the A7R5, guys. That's unfortunate. As I was just looking at, wanting this camera, and it was down to 3,300, I think, on sale. So we got some price increasing down here. Let's see what we got. What's affected? Sony FX6 going from $7,200 to $7,800. A9 III, $6,000 to $6,400. A1 Mark II, $65,000 to $7,000. A1, $55,000 to $5,899. A7R5, $3,899 to $4,200. Sony A7S III going from $35,000 to $3,800, guys. That's A7R4's gone up in value, $3,200 to $3,399. A7 IV is going up $200. The FX30 is going up from $2,200 to $2,349. That's with the top panel, guys. A7 III, we're seeing an increase of $100. A7 E10 Mark II, up $100 to $1,100. 6400 is going up to $1,000. 6700 is going up to $15,000, and the ZV-1F is going up to $549. We are also going to see an increase in lenses. Wow, this is terrible, terrible news. So let's see what else we've got here. We've got the original 16 to 35 G Masters going up from 19 to 2050. The 16 to 55. This is the little power zoom, 250 to 274. 16 f2.8, the one I'm currently on right now. The little silver lens is 249 to 274. 200 600 is going up $100 to 2021. $50 increase on the 21.8. The 24-105, I guess Mark II. Was there a Mark II on that one? I don't think there is. G2. $12.99 to $13.99. $100 increase. A lot of $100 increases on lenses, guys, across the board. We are seeing a $200 increase on the new 24-70 Mark II. No, I'll take that back. It's a $250 increase. 24 is going up to $14.99. So it's across the board. We are seeing these price rates go up. bad time to want to buy some gear, but it helps with the used market. And the one camera that we want to talk about, it's not on this list, the FX2. Hopefully, it's coming out. It's already updated price point, and I was really happy with that price to begin with. So we'll see where we go from there. So what else we got? Sony wants to position smartphones as alpha camera accessories. This is interesting. So Sony phones, I don't know if they're even still Sony Ericsson phones. I've had one. I love the camera in it. I didn't like it as a phone. That's my biggest issue with the Sony phone. As a phone, I just don't feel like it works as well as a phone should. Everything else in it's great. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Tamron Australia posted an image of the new 1630 f2.8 FE lens. First ever new EU deals. First ever 10% discount on the 5150 GM. That's still, I think, the top lens to get right now. I mean, it covers such a wide range. It's a nice lens. Pre-order today to lock in current prices. This was yesterday, so today was the last day, or today is the new price increase day of these price increases, guys. Hope you got your pre-orders in if you're looking to buy something. It'll go on sale again, just not as deep. Let's see what else we got here. What's on the next page? Price hikes, Sony A1. It's a lot about the price hikes. Sony Electronics launches a camera verify feature for its camera authenticity solution for news organization. Sony Electronics launched camera verify features. Let's get down here. Today, Sony Electronics announced a beta release of Camera Verify, a new feature of its camera authentication solution that enables external sharing of image authenticity information via dedicated URL. This is developed to help news organizations address the growing challenge of verifying the authenticity of digital images in the age of generative artificial intelligence. Oh, okay. So I guess sounds like the camera will verify that it took the picture for you. Way to battle AI photography. I like that. Just announced new Venice Optics Laowa 12-28 FE lens. $699. All right, there's the next bunch of wild Sony A7 V spec rumors. Sony registered new camera closed in May. From trusted sources, we can be almost certain that one of them is a new Sony A7 V, but I don't know the specs yet, and I'll get all our rumors are anonymous messengers. This one sounds reasonable, but of course it could just be conjecture. Saw some prototypes. 44 megapixel, 20 frames per second, non-stack sensor, 100% confirmed. Same body as the A1 Mark II, same screen as the A1 Mark II. AI chip, new improved EVF compared to the A7 IV. Could not really confirm better heat management. Is expected to announce summer at earliest. We're into the summer right now. View of the 5150. Camera bags Kickstarter. Let's see what we got here. Anybody joining in here? We got a couple viewers. Welcome in, guys. Say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're from. Let's get through this here. New Tamron patent discloses a new design, 28 to 400, 50 to 500, and 100 to 400 millimeter lenses. It's interesting. Sony's slowly disappearing from the top 10. It's down there. A7C is on number 8. I'm not familiar with this ranking map camera. Most popular cameras from May. There's a worrying trend that several Sony cameras have dropped off out of the top 10, with only A7C2 remaining in 8th place, while Fujifilm and Ricoh, I think it's Ricoh, are benefiting from their premium compact cameras. Sony refuses to release successor to the RX1R Mark II and the RX100 Mark VII. Why are they so stubborn? Sony A7 II sold number 2 spot. A7 IV is number 5. Sony A7C is number 9. Sony strategy and FX2 and more. We'll get into that FX2 here. Let's see. Sigma announces pre-orders for the new 17 to 40 lens were higher than expected. Let's see here. Sony tidbits. David Lynch's A7R and A7S cameras and lenses were sold at auction for $9,100. Oh, we usually do 4 pages and then we stop going back. So there's the first leaked image of the new Tamron. Let's get through A12 with free battery grip. Some memory card deals. Bill Trox 8514 review. New nut refurbished from $27.99 on Amazon. All right, guys, let's see. Let's hop back in here to the studio. All right, so getting into the FX2 idea in my head. So my thought is that I would sell the FX30, the APS-C format, my 18-135 lens, and these two. There you can't see them behind the duck, but got a couple anamorphics there. If I sold all that, I could essentially finance out an FX2 without the top panel, since I already have one for my FX30. Although I don't know if I would actually utilize it because I've never really used it in my current application with the FX30. The top panels would be great, but I'm using all the Sony microphones. Haven't purchased into any high-end microphones that require the XLR connection. So I'd be torn whether or not to include that into my package deal with the FX30 for an FX2. But what the FX2 gives me over the FX30 is basically an A7 IV in a cinema body, and while being full frame, I get to open back up to using in this studio space, my 24 millimeter lens would be more ideally suited for this. I would just be back into that full frame platform, I guess. And while I love the FX30, I still think it's a little bit superior in ways than the FX2. The FX2 does have some nice new features that I don't know if are going to be worth getting or not. So I wanted to dive into that a little bit tonight. Let's go look at the FX2. Let's go find one here let's go head into B&H. I'll share my screen to you guys. And let's look at this thing and really compare it to the FX30. We'll do the add to compare. And let's put an FX30 in there. Let's see what we got to compare here. Let me get this screen shared so you guys can follow along. Zip, share screen, share. All right, so let's add this to the compare. All right. Now, obviously, the big difference here is the price on this. I wouldn't be buying. You know what? Let me go ahead and do this. Let's change that out. Yeah, we'll remove that one. Okay, compare these items. All right, so $2,700 for the FX2 versus the $2,348 now for the FX30. Let's go down through this basic set stuff here. And then shoot me a comment or something. I'll try to check back and forth. I'm on two screens here, but so the FX30 is a 27 megapixel sensor. I've never used it for photography. The FX2, we've got an actual 34.1 with an effective 33 megapixel sensor. It's the same sensor as in the A7 IV. It's a full frame sensor versus the APS-C. We don't have a crop. Same 5-axis and body stabilization. I haven't heard or looked at. We'll see if we can find a little deeper specs on whether or not it's better image stabilization, stills and video. Now, the one thing I will say that makes it better, which is right here, they don't show it on the FX2, is the electronic shutter on the FX30 versus the FX2 actually has a mechanical shutter. So 1/8,000 to 30 seconds and 1/8,000 to quarter seconds in movie mode. Let's see here. We do gain a little bit better ISO dual base sensitivity. The FX30 shows 100 to 32,000 with an extended of 50 to 102,000 ISO, but it is dual base at 800 and 2500 ISO. Where the FX2, we have the dual base at 800 and 4000. So a little bit better low light capability, obviously, with the full frame sensor than the FX30. Let's see. White balance range is the same, probably have the same presets, self timer. Still image capture, we don't have any data on the still image capture here, but it does do it all. Internal recording here. So we've got both are 422 10-bit, 4K at 24, 25, 30, 50, 60, 100, and 120 on the FX30. We don't get 4K 120 on the FX2. And to me, that seems like a really, I mean, I guess I don't shoot 4K 120 that often, but I like the fact that I can do it on the FX30. But the reason why I don't use it on the FX30 so much is I like to use longer lenses. And with the crop factor in the APS-C mode, my 85 is what, 130 something, I think. It just sends it out there too much. And you have to be really far away to get the detail shots. And I like using 85 for slow motion. So, it's kind of a trade-off. Do I shoot it or not? The FX 30 does do a good job with it, but you are cropping in additionally into the sensor to do it. But it gives you the option to do it. So I'm surprised that we didn't get 4K 120 as a crop in option, or at least in crop mode on this camera. And I would like to see that. That would be one thing I'm a little disappointed that it didn't have. But again, at the same time, I haven't used it all that much. So we both do DCI 4K and full native resolution. All the record modes. Yep, we have to get down to, let's see, before we see 120 frames a second, we got to get into 4K 8-bit. So there is no 10-bit 4K record mode on the FX2. It's only up to 60 frames a second. It's a little disappointing with that one. Let's see. Video outputs, 422 10-bit HDMI, ultra high def, ProRes RAW. And looks like we get I don't know if maybe the FX30 did get DCI late in an update, so maybe it does output now. I'm not sure. I don't use it that much, or at all, I should say. The DCI 4K output is available on HDMI for the FX2, along with RAW 16-bit. Both do fast, slow support, gamma curves, S-Log3, H-Log, HDR, IP streaming. Got the built-in microphone still, audio recording, 2-channel and 4-channel. We have 2 and 4-channel and a 2-channel 16-bit 48 on that FX2. Same dual slots, Type A SD card or CF Express Type A or SD cards. We still have a full HDMI output. We have a USB 3.2 Gen 1 output. Same on the FX30. One of the big differences in the body, which we'll see in some photos here in a minute, is that the microphone input and the headphone port are no longer behind a door. They're fully exposed all the time. Nice, but also, uh, is it as good? I don't know. I haven't had a problem with having my doors open on the FX30 and getting to the ports. It's the fact that they block the screen when you're in, flip screen mode trying to see what you're doing. You do see that. One USB-C input on each one. Micro USB still available on them. We get the same Bluetooth 5.0. We get some Wi-Fi 5 in the FX30. We get Wi-Fi 4 and Wi-Fi 5 in the FX2. And again, these cross spec sheets aren't always accurate. The monitors, both 3-inch, 2300 dot on the FX30. I believe the FX2 is 1.2. So it's a downsize on the monitor resolution. They don't have it listed here. We'll get into it. Same touchscreen, basically. Now, here's where the viewfinder is where one of the big key elements to me in having the FX2 over the FX30. The FX2 has a 3.6 million dot, almost 3.7 million dot electronic viewfinder. There are times filming with the FX30 that I just feel like the screen's not enough, and I have a 7-inch monitor. I'd like to get a 5-inch, but the 7-inch monitor works great for viewing what I'm looking at outside. But it'd be really nice to be smaller, lighter with a viewfinder. And then also, of course, it's the photography camera aspect. This is where the FX2 could be turned into a really good hybrid camera and do photos as well by having that viewfinder. Let's see, autofocus, manual focus. We don't really talk about the drive modes, but the video phase detect 495. I mean, autofocus on the FX30 has been phenomenal. I don't have any complaints with it. We do have a photo phase detect, 259 points and 627 on the video. So obviously a little bit better autofocusing system than the FX2. Not as good a sensitivity for the autofocus though, at 4 to 20 plus versus the -3 to +20. So the FX30, better low light autofocus performance. Same shoe mount. Oh, we get the batteries, the same thing. The one thing I do like on the FX30 body, we'll see again, is the 2 quarter 20s underneath it in a row. It works really good for rigging up to the gimbal to keep it straight. No body twist on it if it happens to fall loose from the gimbal mount. I like that. Operating conditions, we've already tested my FX30 out well beyond this. No problems there. Even the last video shoot I did was 100 plus degrees all day in the sun on the gimbal. No complaints whatsoever. I mean, never once did I get it overheat all day at 100 plus degree in the sun. I had complaints, but the camera didn't. And a slightly heavier body there. All right, let's hop into the FX2 here and see what's what here. So it is basically an A7 IV, I believe. You know what? We do get the viewfinder on it, which is nice. We got a movie and still switch. I do like that quick switch over right there. So we do have that option there. It still has the same flippy switch for the power, which I'm not a fan of on the FX30. So that's obviously going to be the same problem here on this camera, unless they've taken my advice. The many times I've talked to Sony people and said, I'd like to have some sort of indicator flashing at me, whether it's a green light or something telling me the camera's on, because when you close the screen, it'll stay on. There's nothing externally showing you that it's on unless you're recording, and then the red tally lights come on. I would like to see the tally lights flash or light a different color. If those were things that it could do, that would be fantastic. Got the full frame body in there. Let's see. On top here, we've got the same quarter 20 mounts all around the body. Looks like a little slicker body, I believe it was, than the FX30, but same ISO and white balance buttons up top. We've got the secondary, looks like a joystick. I don't think the FX30 does not have that. We've got just the record button on top. It looks like the joystick pattern. Let's see here. On the bottom, you get the 2 inline quarter 20 mounts. This is a nice feature, I think, for that body. It looks like the body battery door compartments is further moved away. So when you're mounted to the gimbal, it looks like it's more forward and not so far back. I don't know how to really compare that to the FX30. I do have some challenges getting inside there sometimes. Looks like all the same stuff on that side. Um, on this side, you can see here that the microphone and the headphone port are fully exposed all the times. We do have a camera strap mount there, and then the two doors, one HDMI and one's your probably USB ports. Let's see, it's got them opened up. Yep, your HDMI port up top, which is nice. It's nice and above the screen when it's flipped around. I do like that. And then your USB ports down below. There's our memory card slots. It's a CF Express Type A or SD, not both. But you do have the two slots, so you can vary that way. All right, keep making, close that up. All right, do get a top panel option as well. Eco-friendly boxing, I still kept all mine. Here's our heat management system. I have no complaints with the heat management in the FX30. It does a phenomenal job. So we're good on that. Oh, we get the body chassis parts and some real world use. I think the viewfinder would be handy to have in a lot of situations. I do like the top handle. I wish you could do. I wish you could plug in these like digital microphones Sony offers into that top handle, so you could utilize the top handle functionality as the top handle and retain your hot shoe connection. But that's not a thing right now. And some more user images, special. So let's go back into our spec sheet here, and let's see if we can see some other things. What we're looking at here on this thing for spec wise. So for me, it's about photography as well. So this camera would essentially have the ability to take photos for me really, really well. Now, in my past with the A7 III and this FX30, I've never taken pictures with them. They've been my sole video camera, and I use my A7R2 for photos. I am getting to a point, as much as I love my A7R2, it's getting to a point, it's almost 10 years old, or is 10 years old. It's getting close to time to retire that camera, and I'd like to buy an A7R5. It's the camera I'd like to get next going forward. Maybe next release, I'll get one when it drops in price. That's a possibility. That was one of my lights. All right. We got the FX2 records in the 4K 30. Oh, a 7K oversampling. I'm at 6K oversampling right now. It's nice. Whether or not it's needed, I don't know. That's not my buying points on this thing. It does probably have better dynamic range, higher ISO usability, up to 2,200 and 4,000, and updated dual base ISO technology for S-Log3 at 800 and 4,000. But this is really the highlight, the reason why I'd want to change it is this hybrid still image capture. The FX2 brings versatility of the hybrid camera to the cinema line, improves the still image capture, and adding features such as log shooting and user-led application. I've heard this before from other creators that they want to be able to use the log profiles in photos, and this camera is, I guess, allowing you to do that. And capture photos from shot marks during internal video recording or playback. We get some AI autofocusing tools in this camera let's see, it does compare it here. AI processing unit delivers multiple improvements in autofocus, auto framing, and stabilization using deep learning, analyzing colors, patterns, and depth. The processor maintains sharp focus with real-time subject recognition, identifying people, animals, and vehicles. Human and animal eye recognition is improved by 30% compared to the FX3 and FX30, making the FX2 ideal for fast-paced shooting scenarios such as capturing wildlife or sporting events. Okay. Basically, the same dynamic active mode for stabilization as the FX3 and FX30 offer, and I think A7S3. I think they all offer that. Framing stabilization uses advanced AI. Shake metadata is embedded into the footage for post production. So basically, when you shoot a video with one of these cameras, you can upload it. It takes the gyro data from the camera. It writes it in with the footage, and you can then apply a proper stabilization using Sony's software before exporting the footage for use. So we get some connectivity options, ergonomic design. We got full frame back illuminated 33 megapixel sensor. Pretty much all the same stuff we've been talking about there. They don't talk about the screen because it's less screen. All right. Well, what do you guys think? Is it worth the upgrade? I'm not sure. I like the FX30. It'd be nice to get back into full frame with that, but we're looking at. Well, I don't even know what used values are. Let's go take a look, see if the FX30, now that's got a price increase, will help my resale. Let's go take a look at used. They don't have any. I figured used for just the body alone. They've got them for 1,800. I figure I could get a solid 1,500 for mine. I'm figuring. I'm not going to sell it with the top handle. That's the price new I paid. I think we're not going to be doing that. But I think 1,600, 1,500 is a realistic number for the FX30 by itself. And then we've got some lenses. So we got the 18 to 135. This lens is about $400. $429. I think with the camera, I could probably fetch $1,900 to $2,000 for the camera and this lens alone. Now, where it becomes a reality for me is if I sell my my two Sirui anamorphics, because they're APS-C lenses, manual focus. Let's see, 24 millimeter Sirui. SIR. I messed it up. Okay, so they're on sale right now. They're pretty cheap, $200 for that one. I think even still, I think as a package deal, I could swing $2,600 for all of it, because I've got this one and the 50 millimeter. I believe I didn't buy the 75, though I have wanted it. There's a MFT mount, $200. I mean, these are some good prices on some anamorphic lenses, guys, if you want to check them out. But I think I could package it up pretty nicely and get, a good solid $2,600 for it all. Maybe even throw a Pelican case in on the deal or something. But I think that would be what I'd be looking at doing. All right, here we got some comments in here. We got the first one. Let me jump in here. We got Roy. He's here saying, hey, good day, Malcolm. Good to see you, Roy. Good to have you back. And we've got, hey, Kate, can you help me with a suggestion with an autofocus lens for making films? I use a set of Sirui Nightwalker Cine lenses and need an autofocus lens which can go hand in hand with that. All right, so which camera system are we using? Would be my first question to you. If it's a Sony, I'm assuming, since you found me. And then I think even Surei's got some really nice. Let's take a look at this. He says he had the Nightwalker set. That's that new set that just came out. Let's hop over to photography. Let's see, Pro Video, digital cinema cameras, and where's the lenses at? Let me get back in here and share my screen to you. We've got, okay, you are on a Sony, he says. Okay. Which body are you using? Are you using the FX2, FX30, or probably not the FX2 yet, but wrong one. Make sure we're on the right screen here. Hi, Raul. Good to see you. Rahul. Sorry, not Raul. Roy says, selling gear hurts my wallet. I've been lucky enough that I've paid for itself for the year, so I just keep it. I'd want to be that way too, Roy. I'd like to keep the FX30 as an overhead rig, and that's still an option. It always is. But yeah. All right. So we've got the ZVE10 for now. We'll upgrade to the FX30. All right. Well, the FX30 is definitely an upgrade from the ZVE10, but the ZVE10 is a fantastic little camera. I personally haven't used it, but spec sheet, and I've used lots of the A6000s. They are great cameras. Now, to answer your question about let's get into the Sony Nightwalker. This is look at the lenses you've got. I'm guessing you got this set, and these are not autofocus, of course, just as my two Surays are not. But they released recently a 40 millimeter, and I think it's $600. Let's see. Well, it's not a Nightwalker. I typed in Nightwalker. Let's see, Suray 40 millimeter, and I was really okay. So $699, and this is autofocus. Okay, this would be a fantastic option, I think, for you if you want to stick with those Suray cinematic lenses. That would be a good solid lens for you, and that one would be probably you know, a decent fair price. If you want an all around good lens, I would also suggest to you probably just the Sony 18 to 135. And I find myself using that little lens a lot. So that is, let me pull that one up for you. Sony 18 to 135. This guy right here. You know, it actually works really, really well and takes really good photos, but also really good video. And I have a short video I did on my channel. If you go back and look up this lens, I think this is a fantastic little lens, and it would actually hurt me to get rid of this lens. This lens took a price increase. It's $798. It was $699. Or yeah, I think $699. So I think it did go up in price, but pick these things up used for about $400. I figure on your Facebook Marketplace. If you're local, I'd have no problem buying used like that. But yeah, check that out. That would be a good option for autofocus, and it gives you general purpose. I mean, it gives you a lot of range, a lot of options. It's not that hard to shadow back because it's higher. It's like an F5, I think, pretty much across the board for almost all of it until it gets into the higher zoom range. So it works really, really good for that. Rahul, sorry if I'm messing up your name. Hi, good to see you. Yes, it is a good upgrade. How about Sony A7 IV? Well, that's what we're kind of talking about tonight is, that Sony A7 IV has been out for a long time now. I think it's a really good camera. I think you wouldn't go wrong with wanting that camera. What's your general purpose going to be for the camera? You're looking for photo or video. It's a good hybrid option. And that's where I've been at on tonight's stream is talking about the FX2 being the ultimate hybrid camera. And that hybrid camera and going forward for me with being able to do the 33 megapixel photos. Now, my A7R2 is still my preferred photo camera, even when I own the A7 III. And I still found myself using it over the A7 III every time I needed photos. But I also needed the video camera doing the YouTube thing. I always had the camera filming. So the A7 III just developed that role. And that's why when the FX30 came out, it made a lot of sense to me to pick up the FX30 for the price point compared to the A7 III. And I absolutely love the full featured cinema body. If you're doing full on video, I highly recommend you getting into that cinema body because the cooling is top notch. You don't have overheat issues. I can attest to that. On hot days, you don't run into that overheating problem. If you're just using it for photos, it's a fantastic camera. And that's where the FX2 for me comes into. It's a great photo camera. Also getting a more modern photo camera, possibly letting my A7R2 retire a little bit. But in YouTube world, I still need a camera filming me while I'm out taking pictures. So that's my dilemma. It's not worth just buying an A7 IV used or even getting my next new camera, which would be an A7R5 if the price didn't go up $400 just recently. But it's anamorphic, right? Will it be okay with those Nightwalker lenses? Yeah, I think that 40 millimeter will be. Let's hop back to it real quick. It is anamorphic, but it is a round element on the front, but you do see it's got the oval shape inside. So it doesn't scream anamorphic like the other ones do. Let me grab one real quick for you. Got 25 and my 50, or 24 and my 50. So We get the classic anamorphic lens on these, and I think I absolutely love shooting anamorphic. And even if you don't use the full anamorphic frame, you may still like it. But again, it comes down to what you need it for. And if you're looking for just a general purpose, I would more recommend the 18-135, or even step it up to a full frame lens like a 24-105 with some variability in it, and that way you have options there to you have those options available to you in filming in different focal lengths, and by going to a variable focal length lens like the 18-135 over the primes, it lets you experiment with different focal lengths in your cinematography to find out what you like using, what works for you, and then you can essentially say, oh, I really like 50 millimeters, so I'm going to go invest in a 50 millimeter prime in the next lens. So I think it's a good idea to have something like that. All right, Roy, is autofocus really necessary for video? Well, yes and no. If you're full on like run and gun shooting, yes, 100% it's necessary. If you're the sole guy on the camera, if you're setting up shots and you're setting up, a scene, and you're going to have the exact movements choreographed with the action or whatever, then no, it's not necessary. And then there's also tools. I know DJI makes a fantastic set of tools for the gimbals that give you essentially LiDAR autofocusing with manual lenses. So that's another option, an avenue you can go down, is if you buy those attachments for the DJI gimbals, it controls its own linear motor on the gear wheel of the lens to set your autofocus. And if you're running a crew on the camera, of course, you can have somebody doing focus pull on a separate monitor to set your focus using a mechanical motor like that on the lens. So, but for run and gun, single guy, yes, absolutely, it's necessary. I'd wait until the tariffs cut in and all the secondhand gear will again value too. Yeah, so as we were just saying in the beginning of the stream, huge price increases across the board on Sony. $100, $200 on lenses, 400 plus, $400 on bodies. Big price increases. So obviously that's going to help secondhand gear go up in value for the sellers, and we'll see what it does in the long term. Excuse me. Did I need it for cinema? Yeah. So I would look at. I would personally, if it was me, if I had those night walkers, I would want a variable focal length zoom lens, essentially, to experiment with and learn what I like. And it gives you a lot of versatility and ease with having to flip out lenses. Now, if you're just doing straight up filming and you want a good autofocus lens, any of the native Sony E-mount lenses are great for autofocus. You could recommend just about any one of them. If you want to look at Tamron or Sigma, they too are also great autofocusing lens. Not quite as quick and snappy as the Sonys, but still very, very good. I wish still sensors were 16:9 instead of 4:3. Every little point and shoot I ever had, I always set them to 16:9, and they give you that option. I think I have that option in all my current Sony cameras. You can set it to record the image in 16:9. Even though it's a 4:3 sensor, you can still set it to shoot 16:9. Now, if the sensors were actually 16:9 all the way, that would be fantastic. But yes, I'm with you on that one. Most camera gear here in Australia has come down significantly. Ships must have been diverted from America. Yeah, maybe so. You got some good deals coming your way. So yeah, it's definitely is a thing we got to watch for here going forward. Let's see, put these somewhere. Hope we see them. Get that out of the way. Let's get my name there in the way. Hate cropping from 16:9 to 4:3. Yes. Yeah, when you got to do that, that sucks because you're just losing image sensor room. Yeah. Well, I think I think the 16.9 thing's never going to change. Of course, I was amazed the CVs changed from 4.3 to 16.9. All the years they did that. And Super 35, I think, is essentially a 16.9. If I want to say it is, maybe not. So yeah, I think there's some good lens choices out there for you. There's um, lots of options when it comes to autofocus. Anything native will work great for you. All right, let's see. It's a good little stream we had going there. We had quite a bit of activity there for a moment. I like it. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Let's see here. We've got I kind of ran out of things to talk about. I ran through my FX2 stuff. Let's see here. What else can we look at? If I was to buy another camera, get rid of my FX30, what else would it be? Let's look at used values here. Let's hop in here, put you up here on the screen. Used department. Let's look at photography. No, it's mirrorless. Hop into let's look at Sony first here. I'm not looking to change brands to Nikon yet. So A7 IVs, you're looking at $2,000 now. That's a good value, especially from 2,500, and I think this price is going up. Take a look here. I have it here. Oh, I have it right. Come on. Which one? A7 IV is increasing from $24.99 to $26.99. So they still have the new for $24.98 here at B&H, but it's going up to $26.99. It's a crazy increase, especially for such an old camera. We've got A7 IV, A7R5. See, this is another one that's gone up to 40. Are we at 40? A7R5 is $41.99 now. So now's the time to act if you're going to buy one before they go up. I would like to have me one of these right here for all my shenanigans. It's a nice camera. I'd even take an A7R4 really too, but A7R5 just because it's a little newer, that's where I'd want to be at. The A7S3, the A7S cameras have always held their value. They've never really dropped too much. Even the S2 is still, or the A7S2, not the Lumix. Its value retention was amazing for the longest time. There's the E10. We're looking at $600 now. Good little camera. A7C2. The other camera I'd really thought about getting was the A7R. A7C R, not the R2. It's R, just the R. A9 III. The A9s are still really nice, fast, snappy cameras, but probably more than I need. Here's a decent deal. A7R4 Mark, the A Mark. $2,500. It's a moderate wear. I probably wouldn't pick that one for myself, but A7R4 Mark A had a better screen and some different connectivity. Still a really good camera all the way around for photos. And I've even thought about sticking to the APS-C and picking up an A6700 to pair with my FX30, being almost the same sensor. I thought that would be a good idea too, but haven't decided on that. Here's the A7CR. It's $2,500, 3,000 new. It's a great looking little camera in that rangefinder body. I've always liked that with the A6000s. So this one was also very tempting to me. It still is for the price. It says a 9. I'd buy a 9 all day long from B&H. 9 is like basically brand new in the box. Everything I've bought that's ever been 9. We have lots of options. I don't even know if they offered in silver or not, but I definitely get silver if they had it. White ZVE10, Mark II, A7Cs, the original A7Cs, which is an A7 III essentially. 6300s, 6500. Those were first gens. They're done. A7R2 is fetching 789. Well used. I like that B&H actually shows you the shutter count. This is a very low shutter count camera right there. And an A7S2, $800, 45,000 on the shutter count with this camera. Interesting. 6400s, A7R2, body only, $900, 23,000 on the shutter. So it's still fetching a fair amount of money. A9 Mark II. That's it. That's all they got. Interesting. I have a deer peeping through my window. Back soon. Okay, Roy. You get the snakes and the spiders down there too, I believe, that are already in the house. So I don't know. What's your thoughts, you guys? What would be the used camera, next new camera you'd like to see or like to get? I know I'm in the market. I think, in a sense, I still love my A7R2. It works really well. There's things I like about it that, even an A7R3, which I don't think they had any used copies on there. I didn't see any. Let's see. No, it doesn't pop up. I'd take an A7R3 just for the bigger battery. Honestly, I mean it's a decent deal, but I don't see any of those right now. So I don't know. Things to decide about. I'm in no hurry to make any changes or plan any changes. I really like the FX30. It works well for most of my needs in the studio here. The shooting I've done with it, its video quality is top notch. I have no complaints with how it shoots or how the images come out. The FX2 it'd be a step up to the full frame, back in the full frame game that I did like, but it's it's a feature packed camera compared to some new features, I should say, compared to the FX30. But it's really not getting me anything new as far as ability to shoot. And I'd be losing 3 lenses, which it's never fun to let go of the lenses. And like I said, if you can avoid getting rid of the gear to buy new gear, then that'd be the ideal thing. But if I get rid of the FX30, I won't have any APS-C stuff, so there's no point in having the lenses. So I'd go ahead and sell it. Maybe I'll list it out there and just see if it sells. If it sells, then that'll make my decision. Get what I asked for it, then maybe I'll do that. But in the meantime, we'll hold off. All right, what else, guys? So you can see I've got some mentioned earlier in the video stream, we're going to have some videos coming out here. Got some PlayStation content coming here pretty soon. We've already got an edit going on one video. It's a complaint video, actually. So hopefully, someday something happens with it, but something I think they need to address. And we'll see what happens with that. And then the next video will be a couple unboxing videos I've got. I've got a couple new pieces of gear that I need to unbox and test out and get a video out to you guys on that stuff. So we're going to be doing that here real soon. In fact, I may record those tonight since I'm set up, and may just go ahead and record those and get them open and start using them. So at least I have that done. Because I've been sitting on this stuff for several weeks and haven't touched it because I've been wanting to do an unboxing. So I got to do that still. So tonight would be a good night to get at least it unboxed, and then I can start messing around with the stuff and furthering the video in that sense. All right, let's see. We've got, I know Roy said he was there. I don't know if Roy's back yet or not. Roy, did you want to join in on the live tonight? Let me know if you're there, bud. Anybody else can join in on the live. Usually just ask that you come to a couple streams and I get to know you in the chat before I invite you in. But I can let you have the links, but it gets kind of sketchy at times with that. Already run into that problem. Let's just throw the link out there and see what happens. Let's see. Invite. Copy. All right, I'm going to throw this throw this out there. If anybody pops in, doesn't mean I'm going to let you in, but see what you got. If you want to join in live on the stream tonight, let me know. All right, what else? What other cameras? What other camera tech can we be looking at? I'm going to be in the market for. I really needed to make some. I want to make some more metal prints here coming up. I'm going to be doing that here soon, but I want to get into. I want to get into. Make sure I'd like to get another light. It's something else I've been looking for. So let's take a look at lights real quick. I've got the smaller RC120 up there right now. I believe is what I'm using, and I like it. It works good. I don't hear the fan behind the curtain. Small rig RC120. And it's, I guess the bicolor is the one I've got. Over $259. That's not a bad price right there. I've got the travel kit, the bag, and all that. But honestly, I run it at 5,000 in the studio here. I think I don't need to spend the extra for a bicolor. I just need another daylight one. They discontinued it. What the heck? When I want to buy one, let's see if there's one used. Take a look. Small rig. Let's see, 120. Am I going to used? I thought I went into use. Let's do that. Small rig. All right. Am I sharing my screen yet? No, I'm not sharing my screen, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Lots of good deals on the old used market for small rig, you guys. There's no sense in paying full pop for a new cage. I like these clamps; they work really good. I want to find some longer attachment arms for them. Definitely something I want to get. All right, let's narrow these search results down. We've got used. Let's narrow it down. Let's put in light. What's it? Oh, here we go. There's a daylight RC350. I mean, there's been times I thought a brighter light would be necessary, so maybe that would be the better money spent would be buying a higher powered daylight light. I could see myself doing that. That might not be a bad deal right there. 306. These small little panel lights are freaking awesome too for what you get for the money. I mean, $42. Little RC panel light. I've got a couple panel lights from them, and did I buy two? I think I only got one still. Maybe I bought two. Like $35 used, and it's a great little panel light just to give it a little fill or a bounce light, basically. I mean, you can't go wrong. I don't think you can. Oh, Roy, hey. Sorry I didn't see you, everybody. Hey, welcome to the stage. Roy. Oh, not happy with your camera. Oh, man. Well, give it another shot, and I'll let you in if you're there. Let's see here. I'll hop back in here. I'll give you a minute. Check that out. That's it for the lights right now. I mean, I'm happy with the small rig light. It works well. I've got a pretty decent softbox on it. Seems to do the trick. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the small rig lights. Let's see here. Not happy with your camera, man. I think you should be able to figure a camera issue out, I'd hope. Let's see. Let's see what else. Let me hop back in here. Anything else used? Yeah, something else I need to get also is the studio version of DaVinci, and need to get something like that going too. And usually you can get it with a camera. So let's look at some Black Magic camera. You probably don't get them on a used copy, I imagine, but this is driving me crazy tonight. Stay in there, jeez. Must be something. It's hard to justify a used camera for the price of with the new one's 1100. Here's I mean, Blackmagic Design 6K cinema box camera for Canon EF mount, $3,000. There's a 6K Pro for $2,800 new. Again, hard to justify not picking up something like that. I wish they could offer them with Sony E mount. That's an interesting looking camera. G2. Here's the Ursa, $7,000 rig. And then you got monitors. Condor Blue. Let's see what they got for Solve Studio. Yeah, we get $325 for the activation card, but you get an activation card when you make these kind of purchases. So we get I think this one they either discontinued or they've changed it. I can't remember. Studio dongle. I don't know what that is. We got the coloring wheels. Let's see. Something else I've been wanting to do for these live streams is to get a is they make these video switchers, and I really like to get one of those. Shuttle, that's a new one. The screen on it. Don't need that though. All right, let me see if I can find it on their website real quick. Oh, let's see. Maybe I just need to get out of. Oh, we're out of used. Okay, so Blackmagic keyboard. See how much there. There it is. That's what we're looking for. $655. Get you the full Blackmagic keyboard, and it comes with Studio. So, it's a big upgrade for. I hate to pay for Studio when you can get something like this in its place as well, for the money. So that's definitely something. And then I want to see if they have Blackmagic switcher. Blackmagic switcher, one of these guys. I wish Studio came with these because then it'd be a no-brainer to buy something like this. But this is something I want to do for this live stream because then you can get the crossfades, change cameras, I can do the overhead, do an unboxing or something with you guys live. Really looking forward to trying to get one of these, and I think this is where my money's going to be spent before a keyboard. Even though I do want Studio DaVinci Resolve, and the reason why is I want to be able to output higher than 4K resolution on a timeline, and that's a limitation of the free version. Doesn't let me in to do that. But these things would be a cool little addition here to the studio. Allow me to have the multiple cameras set up and feeding into it, and then this would output for the live stream. So I wouldn't even have to have the FX30. I could have my A7R2 going to it. I could have, right now I have to have the FX30 for the live stream feed to get into the computer. This would allow me to live stream into the computer and using any cameras needed. So I can have all three cameras set up, multiple angles, and get it a little bit more entertaining for you guys. So I do want to do that, and I think that's where the money will be spent, is on something like this. So we have that switcher going on, and is it even give me the option to game and let's because I've thought about doing some live stream ones on gaming with the PlayStations, and it might be fun to do that and give it a shot, or let the kids try it. I know they've been wanting to do it, so this might be something coming soon to the studio. All right, what do we got here? Anybody, let me know where you're from. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button for me. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments, and see what else we got going on. I'm just hanging out here at this point. We talked about the FX2 earlier, and if yeah, we'll just keep the conversation going in the comments if you guys want. If not, I'm gonna be shopping. Let's see. I mean, the keyboard's cool. I wish the keyboard had a switcher built in. That'd be ideal. I think this went up. It was $599, I believe. I think it's $655 now. So, but it would make sense for me. Have the jog dial. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it'd be a cool editing device to have on the desk and to be able to use. And Blackmagic and DaVinci. If you're not using DaVinci to edit videos, I'd recommend giving it a shot and trying it. Any ideas on a USB transceiver? Ooh, a USB transceiver. I guess I'm about to Google something here real quick. And what are we transceivering? I mean, I guess I've got a couple for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I don't know what else you'd be looking for. Are you talking about, like, is it a tether option, you think? I don't know. I made the wrong person to ask on this one. Let's take a look. See what DaVinci, or not DaVinci, USB transceiver. I butchered that, didn't I? $165-foot wireless range. .4 gigahertz frequency up to 165 feet of wireless communication. It's proud to be a USB and requires no additional equipment. Simply plug and play. Compatible DeFi light fixtures. Bluetooth is too slow and crappy. I gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't help you on that one, Roy. I know. What are you trying to do that's Bluetooth isn't fast enough for? I know, like music, there's a delay sometimes with it. Sony's got these little microphones working in real time, and it blows me away that they can do that. All right, let's see here. I mean, what are you supposed to plug into if you're not Bluetoothing? What do you plug it into? What are you trying to Bluetooth to? What kind of devices are you using on that you want something snappier? So many USB devices these days that I'd like to unleash some of them. I gotcha. I guess you're looking at doing. I guess these would work in pairs. Let's take a look here. All right. Well, okay. First off, Roy, invest in Wi-Fi 6. I think that's what I've got. I really liked going to a Wi-Fi 6 router in your house. Make sure your network and Wi-Fi is top notch. That'll help a lot. And then I hardwire all my computers from the router or through a network internally in the house here. The speed of like hard drives and stuff, of course, that's dependent on the hard drive. Never been the USB's fault. Um, but you may just see an improvement in your, well, not so much Bluetooth, but your Wi-Fi connectivity to all your devices going to a Wi-Fi 6. And I think 7 and 8 are out, but I would just say Wi-Fi 6 is the norm right now. Um, because of the way data shares those packets, it really sends the data. It can send data to all of them at once rather than just one device at a time and going back and forth, and that causes a delay. So Wi-Fi 6 was a huge improvement in our Wi-Fi experience in the house here. I don't have any Wi-Fi issues ever. I get just as fast speed on the Wi-Fi as I do when I'm plugged in on the hard line. Like right now, we're on Wi-Fi with the computer. I haven't had any issues tonight. Um, I know in the past I've had issues connecting in. I've also had internet connectivity problems with my provider. It's not so much a problem in my network or on my feed coming in the house, but the provider itself having issues lately. We lost internet today for like 2 hours. Um, so may want to look into something like that. As far as these go, I mean, if if these pair up together, use a transmitter or receiver, I would think that something like this would be just fine if you just need to pair something in. Other than that, maybe so many things are wireless these days. What do you have that's still being plugged in other than like the only thing I have that plugs in on USB still is either the dongle for the computer going to a hub, and into the hub is only my hard drives. So, and I'd like to eventually invest into a NAS system that's on the network and I can access from anywhere. That would be my real true ideal. Then I don't have to worry about carrying hard drives around with me. I can just upload to the NAS. My camera's usually Ethernet tethered. Yeah, I was gonna say the tethering should be on the cameras going right to the computer. Um, Wi-Fi connectivity on the is only like really in the last couple of years has been a thing with cameras. So that I know Sony's got the A9s and the A1 that have really good tethering capabilities. I think or wireless transmit abilities. The what is it? The what was I going to say? Um, Tethering is done usually for the photo shoot stuff. I'm sure you've been using Tether for a lot of your stuff. I've I've hooked up my A7R2 to Tether once. I want to say to a computer for shooting, but I don't ever do a lot of studio photo work. It's usually out and just landscape stuff. Drones are another thing that I've gone crazy. I don't know if you guys follow the drone market at all. Uh, I've never even heard of a flip drone. I guess it's a little stunt drone or something. A7S3. I haven't got back into. I had a drone for a short period of time. I don't have one anymore. I don't. I don't want to do the licensing I need to like use it properly on YouTube. I'm mostly an indoors photographer. Yeah, love drones, but they're starting to irritate the man. Yeah. Well, they've done that for a while here. I wish. I mean, I can still fly and do stuff with the channel. I think, but even if you're going to go under the 250 grams rule, which I've heard they're looking at trying to change because so many drones are becoming 259. The U.S. has been weird too with DJI and the legislation behind that. There's lots of little things going on. Um, I've wanted to have another drone and something like this one. DJI Mini 3 with a nice controller would be great, but I just don't have a huge need for it just yet. I mean, I'll definitely get one and use one probably, but uh, it's another whole thing to buy, and another thing to carry. Right. Our house is next to a national park, so they can't stop my drones. So they can't stop your drones because you're next to the national park, meaning you're allowed to fly from your property. Um, but you're not allowed to fly in the national park there. I mean, that's like us in the U.S. We can't fly in national parks unless you paid a lot of money for a permit. That's the only way I think you can do it. I've had been in Facebook groups with some of the local Texas photography clubs. One of the gentlemen out of Dallas, he applied for a license permit from FAA to fly downtown Dallas and got it. So he was able to go downtown Dallas and fly in between buildings and around the buildings with his drone and legal. That was pretty cool. So I know if you reach out to the right channels and ask the right questions, I think it's possible to get to do whatever you want to do with them. But you still have to have a license. And something what I wanted to research. Let me look it up real quick here. Let's see here. Do you need Part 107 when flying 250 ground? Yeah, just as all drone pods operating commercially in the state of Texas are subject to FAA Part 107. So even having the small, all drones must be registered except those that weigh 0.55 pounds or less than 250 grams and are flown under the exception for limited recreational operations. Drones registered under the exception for limited recreational operations cannot be flown under Part 107. So, yes, even in Texas, I have to have my Part 107 to fly the smallest drones for YouTube. So, you got to get your 107 license in. Just something to do, another thing to spend money on. But if I get it and I get a drone, you get more, you become more valuable as a person for work. You can go do stuff legally and charge decent money for it. Let's see here. Let's see what they got new in the action camera world. I think there was some new Action 5 already on the DJI one. It's something I do not follow is the action cam world. I think if I were to get a new action cam, it'd be one of these Insta 360s. Not this one. Hero 13. Let's see. The 360 cams are just too they're too cool, too easy to get all the shots you need. I think they'd be just cool to have one. Let's go 360 action. Let's find them. Where's Insta 360? We know how much these things are. I don't even know what I'd be looking for a new one right now. We got action cameras. There we go. 1x2. I think this is what I'm thinking of. Records both directions. 249 is not bad. 359 for that. There's the X3 509. So that's the newer one. I don't know. I think these would be the hot ticket for doing anything you need an extra cam for. That's my opinion. Rules in Australia seem to be much more free. Yeah, I heard. I believe in Canada they have, once you have your flight license for the drones, you're basically allowed to fly anywhere you want if you have your license without restriction. So that was kind of a cool thing they gave you. Like the U.S., you still can't fly in no drone zones with your license without permits, and get you either a FAA permit or the permissions of the grounds permit. But I think it won't ever change in the U.S. It'll either get worse or they'll make it even harder to get those permits or licenses. I think there's enough business in it. It won't ever go away, but they can definitely make it harder to do it. I have a power surge on all my lights over there. I can fly most places except near airports. Yeah, when I sold my drone, the guy wanted to meet at Best Buy. I met him over there, and it's right next door to an airport. I said, "Man, I don't think it's going to take off. We'll be able to test it." Sure enough, it wouldn't start up by the airport. But I know it was working for him. He had some videos that he put out with it. Well, I think I'm going to call it there, guys. Roy, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you stopping by and seeing us tonight. Thank you everybody else that came in. We had some new faces come in. We've had A and Rahul. I appreciate y'all joining in tonight's stream and asking some questions. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. I appreciate it. Roy, you have a good night. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see. Maybe this is the turning point for me and I get to be more regular again. I'm working on it. We'll see. But anyways, yeah. I think I'm gonna end it there, guys. You guys have a good night. Talk to you later.